Do you ever have moments where you're struggling with a creative block? If it's been a while since you've had time or energy for creativity, you are not alone. It's easy to fall into these blocks, and it can be incredibly difficult to get past them. Recently, I've had several family members diagnosed with critical illness, and it's been a challenging time emotionally. It's hard to feel excited and passionate about art when loved ones are dealing with illness and difficult times. So what do we do when we're feeling this way? Do we stay away from our art and our creativity? Or do we use it as a way to process these challenging feelings? This can be a vehicle for working through these trials and difficulties in a healthy way. Creativity can be healing and expressive in a way few other things can be. But it can also be hard, especially if you're dealing with anxiety or depression. It can be hard to even pick up a pen, a glue stick, or a paintbrush to start creating. It can feel forced, but it's amazing the positive effects it can have on our mental health if we're willing to try. Art can be such a comfort in these difficult times. Today, let's explore the idea of how to get past the creative block to find creativity again. I'm going to walk you through some of the techniques that I use that help me work through emotions while creating beautiful art. I usually start with an easy to apply color-based medium to add into the first layer of my project. For me, this is usually watercolor, pan pastels, acrylic paint, or even coloring with markers. It doesn't have to be anything exotic. Just grab something that will help you put down color quickly. When I start this type of process, I tend to gravitate towards watercolor paints. Watercolor is easy because you can create beautiful washes and stick to simple colors. You can keep it to one color or a range of colors. You can create marks with your brush or create simple washes. Just start adding colors that make you feel inspired. For me, I'm starting with blue and moving to green. I've been working on landscape sketching a lot lately, so this was affecting my color choices. If you're working in a book, you might get some curling like I am to those pages. If this bothers you, start with a piece of watercolor paper that is taped down to a surface and then add it into your book later. To prevent curling, I just added a clip to keep my page flat. If you're looking for more texture and vibrant color, try adding watercolor powder. As this pigment reacts, it creates beautiful textures and splashes of color. Sometimes I like this, but today I was looking for a slightly softer, more vibrant background. With a wet brush, you can always move the color around. To be honest, I wasn't expecting to create grassland and skies for this piece, but it's what came out in the moment. It's important not to plan or try to control too much. Let yourself play and see what intuitively comes out on the page. You may be really surprised at the result. Starting with a color background helps me get the ideas flowing. A blank page can be very intimidating, so by adding color, this helps me get past that creative block. At this point, sometimes I'll move on to mark making and doodling. But I just found some beautiful papers that I forgot were in my art room. I love this vellum with gold foiling and flowers, which I found this little Japanese store here in Calgary. What I love about these foil papers is the translucency of the materials. This way I can add layers of collage onto my colorful background without completely covering it. This is where we can let our intuition take over and aid us in the creative process. So now I need to choose a favorite shape. I chose to use overlapping rectangular shapes for this next step. But this is where you can use your favorite shape, like a triangle or a circle, to add some structure to your background. You can rip your papers for a more organic look or cut them for stronger lines. There's no right or wrong with this process. It's just finding a way to find relaxation in your creative play. I've been rearranging my art space and found these beautiful 49 and market papers I had tucked away. I love these floral and nature designs mixed with text. The neutral colors really spoke to me and they contrasted beautifully with the colorful background. I didn't want everything to be cut, so this is where I did a combination of cut and torn edges. This is a way of creating structure and a bit of an organic feel to this page. The layering is an important process for me. It's a great way to play around with shapes until I find something that speaks to me. If you've been following me a while, you know how much I love to add metallic watercolor accents to my papers. This project was no different. It's an easy way to add a bit of shimmer while helping the different layers stand out. The gold watercolor paint is a great choice, especially since it matched well with the gold foil. Lately, I've been spending as much time outside in nature as possible. I'm finding it's bringing me a lot of peace during these challenging times. This inspired me to use a focal image that's a flower. I could have drawn a flower image, but I wanted to keep things simple, so I looked for things on hand around my studio. This floral chipboard piece felt like the perfect addition to the page to finish off the design. I usually paint or color chipboard pieces, but with the neutral colors I've chosen for this collage, I really wanted to keep the flowers neutral. But I felt like they needed a little something to help tie them in with the rest of the page design. Out came the metallic watercolor to add a few touches of paint to the chipboard. As part of finding self-care through challenging times, I've been journaling a lot lately. Sometimes I'll pull bits of the journaling out as quotes for my art journal. I was thinking about how we need to show ourselves kindness, especially when we're having a challenging season. We can often expect more from ourselves than what we can give at the moment. Being outside amongst the flowers, I had this thought. Plants don't grow overnight. Give yourself time to blossom. We allow children to take time to grow. We let plants take time to grow. And we don't expect perfection or for them to grow up instantly. But we don't always give ourselves the same opportunity. This is a reminder to me that we need to give ourselves the opportunity to be present in the moment, to grow at whatever pace we can, and that some seasons make it easier to grow than others. So to finish off this page, you could just write down your thoughts in your journal. But I love using my manual typewriter to type them out and add them into my book. And there's something that feels special about using it instead of a computer for my journaling. It has a less perfect look, and depending on the typewriter tape and how I type, there's imperfections in the typing. Sometimes I make mistakes and have to type out the quotes multiple times, but I absolutely love this process. Using my paper cutter to cut the paper, I also add some watercolor shimmer and then add these words into my journal with glue. I purposely stick to a smaller journal page for these types of projects. It's a great way to stay focused and finish a piece quickly. This may be more complicated than what you would do for a page like this. Don't feel the need to follow my instructions exactly. Take one or two ideas and create a page just to help you get the creativity flowing. The key with this process is staying present and in the moment. Let yourself create and find joy in the process. It's about taking time to connect with how you're really feeling. Life can get away from us and it can be hard to find joy in the moment. This type of exercise is something I do when I'm struggling to get started, or I feel like I'm having a creative block. Or maybe I feel like I'll never be creative again. It does happen. It's a great way of showing kindness to ourselves by doing art that's not meant to be on display. It can be just for us. I'd love to know what you think about my approach and this video. I know that this is slightly less instructional than most of my other videos, but I do hope that it resonates with you as you're struggling through these dry spells and are struggling to find creativity. I'd love for you to leave a comment and make sure to subscribe to see more of my videos. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see another intuitive collage project, click on this video next. I'll see you there.